meeting docs?
Yeah, there's Google Docs both in the general channel and also in the organizers channel. Should be. I can also post it in the chat.
Okay, I found it.
Okay, good. Yeb is here. Awesome. Okay, let's just get started. So yeah, welcome to this second meeting, and I apologize if there's any background noise. I'm in a public building right now, so hopefully it's going to be okay. Just a quick note: we are recording this this call today to try this out to see how that works. So yeah, please don't say anything you don't want to be up on the internet. And otherwise, just let's just get started with the agenda and start from the top and work our way down the list, I guess. So I think should I share my screen just to have it? 2 seconds, so everybody can see this. Can you see the docs?
Before we start, we could maybe say the meta thing that if you need write access to the meeting doc, please join Cloud Native Nordics, the mailing list, the Google group, and please add your name on the attending list as follows.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Follow the Google group, and you should be able to get the invite, and you should be able to write in the doc. Okay. So yeah, just a quick update on the leads we talked about last time. So I've been talking a bit more with Russ Miles about doing a chaos engineering tour at the Nordics, and he sort of suggested the following cities: so Copenhagen, Aarhus, Stockholm, Helsinki, as sort of he wants to do a tour of maybe 5 days and then have 4 meetups. So that should be at least where we are started. I haven't got a confirmation from Stockholm yet. I'm still sort of trying to get a hold of Dave. I'm not sure if Dave is here, but anyway, I'll try to sort of get a hold of him and see if he's into this as well. Yeah, and sorry about the people in the background. I think Helsinki is confirmed in the sense that at least for Russ Miles, Nick Jones is you already got him booked. So yeah, but if any other groups are sort of interested in getting in touch with these people, and just let me know, because they are very open and wants to come speak at different meetups. I also spoke with Lutze, and Mirabella from Lutze sent me these free descriptions of talks that they are sort of able to give right now, or what they have wrote up right now, and they are really open to just come and speak at maybe 1 or 2 different speakers. They have a lot of different speakers that are ready to go out and give talks, and this was just some of the suggestions they had. So they've been working a lot with the cluster API and machine controller, and created this project called Cube1. That could be really interesting to probably hear more about. It's an open source project as well. But yeah, just let me know if you want to get in contact with them. I'm planning on setting something up here in Aarhus at least, and if you want to do something similar, just reach out and we'll see if we can do something. I think that's it for my updates. Jeppe, are you here on the call?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, awesome. Do you want to share your screen, or do you just want to give an introduction, or how?
Definitely. Just need to figure out how.
So I'll stop sharing my screen, and you should probably be able to share your screen.
I've heard it's very easy to share things on Zoom.
Yeah, like you can share your specific window as well. Like it's the green thing in the middle in Zoom.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yes, but I want to share my desktop. I need to alt-tab that. So how do we start this? So our meetup repository, if you haven't seen the one that Lucas started. Let's go to GitHub instead. Meetups actually generates a config.json containing everything. So it takes a while to load, one sec. Yeah, so here we have all the sponsors, all the members, all the meetup groups, all presentations, basically everything, but it's in JSON. And working with that in the front end isn't very easy. So I kind of decided to create an API for that. So I've created this stats API project, and it's a GraphQL API written in Go. And I'll just briefly go over it. We have a stats manager, which basically just pulls down the JSON file from the repository master branch. Then we have a lot of models, like the sponsors, the members, the meetups, all the companies, all of that. That's defined in this project. What we then do is run an in-memory database, and we basically just populate from the JSON into this in-memory database. The schema is defined in the schema.go file. So basically, we create an in-memory database with all the tables. Then we have a stats repository. This is what GraphQL needs to actually fetch all the different objects that you want from your in-memory database. And then we have the resolver, which basically resolves the graph. And a lot of you guys probably haven't seen what GraphQL is, so I'll just show you. GraphQL is basically a way to expose your, in this case, relational database as a graph. So what we can do is, this is a big query, but what we can do is, we want all meetup groups, then we want all the variables in the meetup groups, then we want all the organizers, and this is a list. Then we want the names from the organizers, and you get the point. Basically, we can traverse all of our data as a graph. So it's just a bit, I don't know, easier to work with in the front end if you're used to actually working with this. So front end, I'm not a front end developer at all, and I'm not a designer, but I put something together. So let's see. Yes. So we have this Cloud Native Nordics landing page, which basically leads us to GitHub and to the Slack invitation. Then we have a list of sponsors. And this is basically just all the sponsors defined in the config.json file. You can sort by country, if I can hit the buttons. And you can also search. And again, the same for members. It's exactly the same. If you click a flag, then you get into the meetups group or meetup groups view, but with only the selected flag, or rather the selected country. This is all of our meetup groups. Here we have links to the GitHub page, or not page, but the page containing the README for the given meetup. And you also have a link to meetup.com. Then we have a list of speakers. And this is basically just every speaker that has ever spoken at any of the meetups. We have their GitHub page and their speakers bureau from CNCF link. And then if you press their name, you get to a page not found, but that's the info about the speaker, which presentations they have given at which meetups, and in what meetup groups. You can also press the company. Then you get to a page not found again. But this again will be information about the company, which speakers they have, at which meetups they have spoken, and if they have sponsored anything, and such. So basically all the information. If you click a meetup group, you will get into all the meetups they have had. So listed. You can then press into the meetups, see which presentations there were, see which speakers, sponsors, and all of these things. So basically, it's just a way to visualize the data that we already have and just give outsiders like a view into what we're actually doing and who we actually have speaking at our meetups. So that's basically it. And this is written in Vue, which is a JavaScript framework. I chose this because our company uses it. I don't know anything about it. So Google is your friend. And maybe further enhancements. Basically, the whole front end needs to be done. And for that to be done, we also need to implement a few new resolvers in the backend. So right now we can traverse the graph downwards. So we can go from a meetup group to a organizer or to a meetup. But right now we can't really go from a meetup to a meetup to a meetup group. So we need to implement resolvers that can actually go backwards. And it's basically just a simple database query that you need to do. So for this meetup, please find the meetup group with the meetup ID, meetup group ID of X. So it's just a bit of slave labor. Let's not call it that, but it's a lot of work that you just have to do, but it's not hard at all. I just haven't done it because I have no time. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. It looks really cool. I tried to play with it the other day, and it works really nice, and it's a really nice way to get insights into all the different groups, what kind of companies are sponsoring and so on and so forth. So yeah, I really like hopefully to get more involved in this project, and maybe at some point evolve this to be the cloudnativenordics.com page. We should just figure out how to add in some Slack invitations and stuff like that as well, and maybe do some.
And it's doable, but I just didn't have the time.
Yeah, sure. No worries. But it looks really awesome. Any other feedback from anyone here?
Thanks for doing this. It's really the dream that I hoped we'd do someday, but I was like, oh well, I'm not. I've done that much front end and didn't have really the time. But to see this is super exciting. I'm so thankful for your hard work with this, and I'm excited to see us moving it forward. And as Kasper said, definitely wanna make this the real Cloud Native Nordic site is just as soon as possible, and then although there were some views that aren't created yet, I think it's not a blocker for us to just go ahead, because at the moment we have nothing really in this style, so it's just on the right path. And
it's already great just to show it like that. It's really cool work. Thanks.
No worries.
Yeah, so if anybody's interested, please pitch in, and let's see if we can make this our default page very soon. And also we need to maybe discuss where we should host all this. Just a quick, if anybody has any sort of experience with one of the public services out there for doing this easy and cheap, please pitch in.
I guess so. Basically, this can be run. This is just Docker containers, and it can be run with 100 megabytes of RAM and 0.01 CPU, something like that. So it's basically nothing, because you don't have to speak to anything. It basically just pulls down a JSON file and persists it into an in-memory database, which means that we can run it on our Kubernetes setup. It doesn't matter. So if we have no sponsors, for example, DigitalOcean or Google Cloud or something like that, we can basically run it for, I don't know, a few dollars a month. That's nothing. So.
I'm gonna come to this later, but we got a 1K from DigitalOcean as a starter, at least, for running workshops. So we could use that, or if CNCF has some. There's a CNCF cluster. I don't know if this would apply to those kinds of things. Or it might be so small that it just fits into some cloud providers' free tier.
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely a possibility. I think it's like 99% that it actually fits into to the free tier somewhere.
I think I have a Raspberry Pi I'm not using. Come on.
I have a 4 now, so yes. It's overkill.
I think Ihor was on this call as well. Did he? Yeah, he's there. Ihor, does CNCF have anything where we can get something like this hosted?
So we have the Pocket.com infrastructure that we may offer for some projects or for some community-related things. I'm not sure about the workshops, but I can double check that and get back to you.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So and to clarify, the workshops we got from DigitalOcean that's sponsored, but this would be just for the site infrastructure, basically. Then.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that I have to mention that like if you'd like to run something like Kubernetes based on Pocket doesn't offer any Kubernetes, any hosted Kubernetes version. So you have to build everything on your own. But if it works for you, so at least you know KubeADM, so you can run it easily.
Maybe a bit too much for running this website. I'm not sure.
Can you say what that is?
If only we knew people who could create a Kubernetes cluster on Raspberry Pis.
Yeah.
if only that was possible.
Yeah. Oh well.
Okay.
Maybe at some point in the future.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeppe, for giving this introduction. And there's a links to the two repos in the notes. So yeah, please check it out and create PRs and stuff, and let's make this happen. Let me share the docs again, just to get back in the agenda. Yes. So next up, Alan, are you here?
Yes, I just need to unmute. Yeah. So the status is that as I wrote in the organizers channel that the site is live and members are starting to appear. I got 2 co-organizers registered so far. I don't know whether the third one is on vacation, but as soon as the last one arrives, I'll add them, and the leader team would be like 4. The first meetup is also announced, and Howard just wrote me that he'll be conducting the introduction to the cloud native, so I'll be updating that as soon as the site becomes responsive again. And then Lucas added some, assigned me some task concerning getting the meetup stuff into the repository. I was actually hoping that I've done that already, but my morning was a bit unpredictable, and therefore I have not done anything on that yet. But I will hopefully be doing something this afternoon. I might also have a couple of questions, but I'll just ask them in Slack concerning the what I need to add. So I guess that's it. And by the way, there is the first 5 events are in the draft section. Well, now there's 4 because one is published. But so we have like a lot of material. But I might actually return on if it's possible to get some of the speakers that you just mentioned before, Casper.
Yeah, let's just discuss and we can help you. We are very close to Aalborg, so we can help you in any way possible. So,
yes, cool.
Yeah. And yeah, I just put the getting started guide note on this point as well. Just and Jessica.
That's cool. I'm still. Yeah, I'm collecting notes for that. So every time I wonder, what to do, then I write a note for that, and I do it in Danish right now. But of course, I'll translate that into something we all understand before writing.
Yeah, cool. And I'm sure Jessica is really keen to help out as well. She seemed very eager, but she's not on this call today. But she'll help you out, and we can ping her, and you can
Yes.
sort of add your experiences in setting up a new group and joining this community. But yeah,
Yes.
awesome to see that Aalborg is up and running, and you have that many meetups or sort of in the pipeline already. That's super cool. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's mostly local resources, so we won't tire them out. If we can get stuff in between, that would be nice. Yeah.
Sure. Cool. Thank you. I think Lucas, you have the next.
Right, and yeah, I already mentioned this a bit, but basically I'm envisioning. For context, I created this workshop infra repo like half a year ago. I'll paste it here. There you see it. So around half a year ago, I ran a workshop in here in Finland, and basically on Google Cloud, using Google Kubernetes Engine, and then we had 40 clusters from Google, and in each cluster we deployed a Trafic instance and this code server, so Visual Studio Code in the web browser basically, so that each attendee who came got a public URL, public domain just to use, and they just went to that domain and got Visual Studio Code, and in Visual Studio Code in the browser they had console access to the cluster with kubectl and Helm and all that kind of stuff. So it was like a zero touch installation thing. It was pre-provisioned for them, and we could start with Kubernetes 101 really from the basics, which was the purpose. Now we have got, in KubeCon Barcelona, I went to the DigitalOcean booth, and I had a friend there, so I just asked him if he think this sponsoring this would be possible, unlike the other time. So he said that he connected with me with some Eddie something from DigitalOcean, and we got 1K from them in credits to use, and I calculated that for a typical evening, it cost like 140 people. It cost like $150 around with DigitalOcean. In order to make this automated, I'm hoping to create a workshop CTL tool. So a Go tool to have some like KubeADM style tool to basically create 50 clusters in DigitalOcean or Google Cloud or whatever provider you might have, and then set up Visual Studio Code and all that kind of stuff with public domains. So such a Go program in the works. If you want to help out, then ping me. I would be helpful, but if nothing else, I'm hopefully in a month or two maybe can do this. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think that this would be useful to others? I mean, the example here was Kubernetes 101, but Visual Studio Code could be used for many other things too. For example, like having a KubeADM or setting up Kubernetes yourself workshop could use the same infrastructure, basically.
I think this sounds really, really, really cool. Workshop, CTL, Cuddle, whatever. Sounds like a pretty cool way to do this. And yeah, if you create this generically, I think the CNCF would probably benefit from this as well. And maybe you could get someone involved, sort of more broadly involved. So not keeping it local here, but spreading this that we are doing or want to do something like this, and maybe somebody else from somewhere would like to pitch in.
Yeah, as Eeyore was here, that was the next question, basically, that would CNCF be open to, like, well, I'm going to start this with maybe github.com/luxa/workshop CTL. Eventually, as it actually becomes usable, maybe move it into Cloud Native Nordics, but I mean, it's not specific to the Nordics in any way. So, or it's, I'm gonna make it so that it's not specific to us in any specifically. So could CNCF, because this live in like github.com/CNCF, like just as a idea to throw out.
I feel it would be the great benefit for the CNCF ecosystem and for the CNCF, like everybody within the CNCF world. So it's possible to do just once it will be set up and ready to push. So just drop me an email and we'll discuss it internally. So I don't see any specific reasons why we should not do it, but we have to discuss. But otherwise, it looks good for me personally.
Cool.
Just
awesome.
to clarify, it's not the CNCF project because
no, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
the different policy, the different way for the project to be accepted to CNCF as a project, but as the part of the CNCF GitHub repo and just to let people use that for their own purposes. So I don't see any specific reasons why it's not possible.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely not a cloud native project, just like a Go binary. But yeah, thanks. That feedback helps a lot. Yeah, I mean, I can return once I've actually written this stuff.
You don't have anything else to do, right?
Obviously not. Yeah, the next thing. I just put in there to like I basically looked at the last meeting and we had a couple of action items. So I just copy pasted these action items and I'm looking for follow-ups basically. So last time we said that we would check in Stockholm, Oslo, and Göteborg the statuses and see how we can help the local communities there. Starting with Oslo, I think Kasper had a chat with Oren.
Yeah. So I think the problem in Oslo is that I think there are actually 5 organizers, but only one is currently sort of semi-active. Or he wants to keep this group alive, but he needs help. So if anybody know anyone in Norway or around Oslo, Norway is not that much represented in this community right now. So it would be awesome to get more Norwegian people joining and start to create groups there. I personally don't have that many contacts in Oslo, so I'm not sure if I can help out. But maybe Henrik, you are on the call. Maybe you have some insights into Oslo because you guys are active there.
I can contact Mike. I think he's listed as an organizer. Yeah, I'll contact Mike and see what's wrong.
Cool. It would be nice to get that group going again. Oslo is it's at one of the capitals in the 4 countries we represent, so it would be nice to get some activity there again. But yeah, I think if anybody know anyone, please reach out because he could need some help in getting that group started. I'm not sure if we can do anything from here. We can of course help with trying to provide speakers and going up there ourselves, but yeah, he needs to do something locally as well. And yeah, I'm not sure if he's on the call. I haven't seen him. But yeah, let's follow up. I think this is gonna be a follow-up item as well for next time.
Yeah.
And Stockholm, Dave wrote to me before the last call that he was going on a vacation. I think it was quite a long vacation, so he I think he may still be on vacation. So I haven't got a hold of him, but I need to get a hold of him right now in order to get the Russ Miles event set up. So I'll ask him for an update as well.
Yeah, I was thinking because there are 2 groups at the moment. One is Kubernetes Stockholm and one is Cloud Native Computing Stockholm, I think.
Okay.
I don't know which one is more active, but actually what we could do is, to go to both. I didn't think of this before. I don't know why, but to go to both groups and message the DM the organizers basically. I think it will reach all 5 or whatever. That again is like it's like 5, but I haven't seen many meetups the past months.
Yeah.
So if we DM them and just invite them to Slack at least, so we have something there.
Yeah, sure.
Speaking about Stockholm, I'd like to mention that we have only one group at CNCF, which is the official CNCF group. It's actually driven by Dave. So
okay.
If there is another group, they may consider merging or running something different and applying independently. But I'm not sure about the community size in Stockholm. I'm not sure if it's pretty big to have 2 independent groups, so probably they may consider having the single unified group.
Yeah.
That's up to them. So we don't restrict having multiple groups in a single region, but encourage people to have the single group for the whole community.
Yes, it definitely makes it a lot easier to if you can help each other out and be more people around one group instead of doing 2 separate things. And I think
we have a few exceptions. We have a few exceptions from the really big cities like London, New York, or Berlin, but I'm not sure if Stockholm community is so big as in those cities. So it's better for them to have the single group for the activities.
And I think that's a similar problem in Gothenburg as well, because there was 2 groups there, and I think Jessica was working on consolidating those 2 groups. But I don't have a status, and she's not here right now. But
I can make a brief update on Gothenburg. We had a brief conversation with Jessica. So CNCF just sent an invite to them a few days ago, and they have just applied. So Jessica mentioned to me that she doesn't have an access to that invite because she is a co-organizer, but Stefan is an organizer, so that's just like like some formal moment. But CNCF invited them, so as long as they will accept the invite, they're a part of the CNCF community.
Great. Thanks for the update. All right.
Could I missed half of it, sorry, but can you write the TLDR in the notes, Kasper? I can take the next one, yes.
Sorry, coming back to Gothenburg, I just checked. We have another Cloud Native Gothenburg group at CNCF. So again, it would be great to consider merging these groups. Again, not a hard requirement, but it's likely to do someday.
Yeah, I also think it absolutely makes sense to have just one per city. It makes everything easier for all people. Yeah, we can see next time maybe Jessica have possibility to join. And
yeah, sure. And she will get the recording as well. So she will, if she watch it, she will be be mentioned. All right.
Yes.
Anything else in relation to this topic? No, I think that's fine.
Quick question. I know one of the organizers from Gothenburg called Simon Gottslag, but I don't think he's in the Cloud Native Nordics Slack now when I check users. Is it just free to invite him, or how does it work?
Yeah, just point them in at the cloudnativenordics.com, and they will get an invite there, and just add them to the organizers channel if they're organizing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in one of the groups at least. But yeah, I'll invite him to the Cloud Native Nordics channel first.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I also know one from the other group, so I'll get him to join too.
Awesome.
Yeah,
all right. Meetup.cncf.io. I think we already touched a bit on this. We're missing Is Johan here at this call?
Yes, he's on vacation.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to him, but it's okay. Cool. So Ihor now wrote that Johan confirmed that he has an invite now. So this should actually be fixed like in a matter of minutes.
Awesome. That's good. And Aalborg is also there.
Yeah. So upcoming. And yeah, we touched on which are the right ones. We'll follow that up in the meetup repo. Status update there. I rebased the Johan's PR, adding the Ume meetup today, so we should be pretty good here. Also made some generator fixes, but obviously that could be done a couple of more things. I think that if I remember correctly, for the stats API, we should do some improvements to make it more easily used by GraphQL.
Yeah, I'll start opening some PRs and various stuff. So.
Awesome. And just like the same things that we had last time, pretty much, but reiterate the stats. We have some higher numbers this time. 3.6K members. And now I clarified this to be RSVPs instead of what I earlier had to be attendees. And we're now over 3,000 RSVPs, so that's really nice. And yeah, around 1,700 unique persons that have come to our group. So that's really cool.
It's awesome.
Then, yeah. And then Vlad did the things that I failed to do last time, namely doing the automated generation of the slide backgrounds. So that was really awesome to see. So now an action item for anyone that hasn't done the background, send a PR. You basically go to Cloud Native Nordics artwork and run a couple of commands. Just basically feed in your Google Maps API key, run make, and well, then you should get a PNG back, which you can PR into to the repo. So I now remember that I haven't put, like, in Helsinki, I haven't yet put nor Tampere. I'm gonna do that now. The backgrounds we have to meetup.com, but yes, now that's consumable for everybody.
Should we check in the backgrounds for the individual meetup group as well? And as a part of that?
Yes, I think so. So then, because we in artwork, the repo, which Casper now changed the license to, thanks Ihor, to Creative Commons. So we have a definite source of truth of where to find image files. So when you need them for some presentation or random, you don't have to like go right click save image from meetup.com.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Another thing I was thinking of is the use of fonts, where I am not sure what fonts we're using, but I'm using like a non-commercial font for the backgrounds in Aalborg. I don't know whether you have some policies or recommendations. I'll write that into the guide, so no worries.
Right. Here we actually need some help, I think.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
I'll ask the questions. Okay.
I think we sort of followed what the CNCF are using in terms of, I think they're using Century Gothic as the font, at least for some of the slides. But we don't have a standard or anything like that. We should probably try to do something, at least do some best practices or recommendations, and set up best practices or a template for slides or something like that. That would be really cool.
You could write there an action point for the next time for me maybe to contact also Andre to
Right. Yes.
to talk about this. So
yeah, it could be really cool to get his input on on what Jeppe did in the front end, maybe, and maybe some
yes,
design.
Making point for me, so I contact Andre.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, I wrote here. I think you see it. Yes. To choose fonts, create a slide template. Maybe Ihor, you use for CNCF Century Gothic, right? Should we just copy paste those?
I don't know which kind of font you use, but you can just copy and paste.
Perfect.
if you need more details, I can connect you or ask from our full-time designer. She's developing all that stuff. If you need any, any advanced consulting on that. But basically, you can just copy and paste it from the generic CNCF slide.
Yeah, I wrote that as a maybe if we find we need it. And I'm gonna copy paste to the website too that Oliver could contact.
Yeah,
We could loop in Andre on this.
Yes.
So if I write the name of the designer into the document, I'll do that. And maybe, I don't know yet. Would you have some? Would there be some problems in using those kind of fonts in your framework, or?
Yeah, I don't think so. I, as long as I can like access it somewhere on the internet, it's fine.
That's cool. The reason for me using the fonts that I used was that I know they work in the web applications and presentations and what have we, and the commercial rights are in a way we like it.
Yeah, I think we currently we have just been doing what we just thought was looked fine, and
it's not a problem. We'll just sort it out.
But yeah, it would be nice to consolidate and get some guidelines for how to do this and the template for slides. And if you just start with copying the CNCF and make that a generic Cloud Native Nordics with the drop your generated slide background here, and then that would be a good start. Awesome. What else do we have?
I think I have to leave very soon.
Yeah, sure. Just
feel
free.
I have to make money. Still.
All right.
Okay.
So I think we bye. I think we are sort of reaching the bottom of the agenda, and I think Lucas, you put this in as an action item, so please join the Cloud Native Nordics Google group in order to be invited to these meetings and get access to the docs, and also the speaker group as well. If you are a speaker or have spoken at one of our meetups, please join that list. And as we talked about last time, the CNCF Speaker Bureau, please sign up there. It would be nice to see more people in there. I can't remember who I talked with, but somebody mentioned that they had some issues in terms of getting access to the Speaker Bureau because of they mentioned that they hadn't spoken at a KubeCon or something like that and wasn't accepted. I think that's maybe a misconception around.
I was just accepted.
Bureau. Okay, cool. And you haven't spoken at a KubeCon yet?
Nope.
Awesome. So that shouldn't be a problem. All right, great. So yeah, please do that. And what's the last point? I agree at the start.
One thing that I just put in there is the slide. We talked about this before, but just as I found the link here, the slides preview feature for the website once we have that up, there's a GitHub project that you can see in the link there too, which basically has really nice front end of like the first page of all the presentations delivered at KubeCon. So as we have the links to all the slides, we should do the same thing, and then really easy to well, show like browse these and also get knowledge sharing starting for real. So I don't know if anyone wants to take on like, I don't know, forking that project and or something. But yeah, just
Sounds like a really good idea.
yeah, the project is there. It's called KubeCon Slides, and it's written in seems to be PHP.
Oh.
Somebody good in PHP. Not me at least.
Anyone with PHP experience, skills? Oh, we can put it out there and see if anybody is willing to help out.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
I don't think so. Oh, right. One thing that I came to think about now, Anton is on the call. So do we have status updates from Åbo? Or Turku, I forgot that during the earlier.
Yeah, like I will meet both Lasse and Miro on Saturday. We're organizing another event. So after that, we're going to sit down and do the whole Git thing, generate the site. And then I actually spoken with Vincit, and they might have speakers. I have a friend there called Otto. He's looking into that at the moment. But yeah, we will probably have our first meetup late autumn, and that will be sponsored by StrataCache, my company, and then the location will either be our office or then like right next to the Kupittaa train station. There is actually a place called, what's its name now? Yeah, it's basically a startup sauna, but it's really good for organizing these types of events. So we will either be there or then at our office. I'll have to see if we have space here. But yeah, that's basically the current status.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. Anybody else have anything they want to bring up, share, anything?
Maybe just one thing. Instead of doing all this meetup generation, like via YAML files, maybe we should like build a generator that can generate it for you. I would be up for doing it. It's kind of like the same thing, just backwards that I've already done. So maybe that's something we should look into.
So do you mean like
So right now you have to write a lot of YAML to actually get into, or rather get your meetup group into meetups repository.
Yes.
We could probably pretty easily build a generator for this that just spits out the YAML defined on like some web forms that you input.
Right. Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, that would probably remove a lot of the syntax pain and a lot of the what am I supposed to put in here questions, since you could like guide people through it.
So do you mean for starting or for overall like maintenance?
Both starting and maintaining, because since I've been visualizing all of this data, I've noticed that there's a lot of missing like icons, missing companies, missing like all of these things. That would be like a pain to go over. Of course, it's just once, but it'll be a pain to manage in the long run. So maybe just some way to quickly correct these mistakes.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it in the YAML.
I was hoping to, or I was thinking about doing like a lint or something. But if you have a good idea of what kind of front end we could use, that's
I can play around a bit with it on like the what do you call it? On all the companies, like the list of companies. Maybe we can. If it's easy, if it takes a few hours, then I don't see why not for the other parts of.
Could we create an issue for this and maybe start discussions around your idea and see where it takes us, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I do.
Awesome. Good idea. Anything else? I think we have 7 minutes left. It's okay to stop early if nobody else have anything.
I think we're fine.
Yeah, I think so too. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody. I'll see how I can share this on this video or recording of this session on YouTube or something like that. And yeah, I'll try to do this after the call. Yeah, thank you for joining. And it's really great to see some progress on this, and we start to get sort of the foundation in there, and we can start doing more stuff and help each other out more. So that's really cool.
Do we have, when you said that, do we have a YouTube channel yet? Or will you, as part of this, will you create one?
Yes, I'll do that. That's a good idea. You put that in there. Awesome. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye.